Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beam Global's channel, a clean technology leader providing innovative, sustainable products and technologies for electric vehicle charging, energy storage, energy security, and outdoor media. Joining us to discuss not only the fiscal 2022 year, but a crazy amount of orders you guys are bringing in already to start this year off, and then some fascinating meetings with the governor of California. So first and foremost, Desmond, the Chief Executive Officer, welcome back, sir.
Great to be here, Kyle. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to get you on. You guys are in a fascinating, evolving industry that seems like it's almost compounding year over year. And you recently met with Gavin Newsom there, the governor of California, which I know is a very progressive state when we're talking about, energy solutions in the clean technology future. So do you want to give us a little insight into what was that meeting about and kind of what you thought came out of it?
You know, it was incredible. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, he runs what's between the fifth and eighth largest sovereign economic state in the world. He's not a trifling leader at all. And of course, as California goes, particularly where automotive things are concerned, so goes the rest of the nation. Remember, it was California back in the 70s that forced the catalytic converters onto the automobile industry, and now the whole world uses them. And similar things going on with electric vehicles here. The state of California is actually outspending the federal government where charging infrastructure is concerned. So it's a very significant play here. We have a contract in place with the state of California. They buy lots of our products because, of course, we solve so many problems for them. And yesterday, I was able to walk around one of our EV ARC products with Governor Newsom. And what was really fantastic about it was how he clearly understood the value, the fact that we don't need to do construction, we don't need to do electrical work, the fact that we continue to charge during blackouts and brownouts, and the fact that the unit cost for energy is zero to fuel all these electric vehicles that are coming down the road. None of that's lost on him. And of course, it's beneficial to have people in leadership in California understanding the great value that we're bringing to the market. So it was an honor to meet him. It doesn't matter what your politics are. The simple fact of the matter is, from a Beam Global point of view, which is what I chiefly care about, it's very good to have the state of California on board with us and supporting us. And beyond that, by the way, one other important thing to point out, Kyle, is we do intend to bring battery manufacturing from our Chicago facility, grow it because we're growing so quickly. We're maxing out our capacity in Chicago. We're going to bring battery manufacturing into Southern California. And the great news there is there are grant funds available from the state to help us grow that battery facility, non-dilutive. It's not a loan. I don't have to pay it back. It's just monies to help us increase our business in the state. So it was a very good day. I must admit, I was delighted to spend so much time with him and again, have him understand our products as well as he does.
Yeah, I appreciate those insights. And I want to talk a little bit about the growth this year. But before we do, I mean, 2022, your full year revenue was what, like 22 million, 144% year over year increase. You had record Q4 revenue at 7.9 million, 125% year over year. You want to talk about kind of what's driving this and just some of the highlights from fiscal 2022?
Look, you're quite right. Our 22 revenues were more than twice what the 2021 revenues were. 2021 revenues were 1.5 times what 2020 revenues were. I mean, it's not as an aberration. This is just a continuation and an acceleration of growth. Yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, probably way too early to the party, but the party's really starting to kick off into gear now, and we have great seats because we have a great first mover advantage in terms of creating these off-grid, rapidly deployed charging infrastructure products. Our production ramped up very dramatically during the year as well, doubling production. So it's no good getting the wins if you can't actually produce the product and get them out to the customers, but we've done that too. The operations team's performing magnificently. And then we closed the year with right around $60 million of contracted backlog. That was a first for us. We have never really closed out a year with a significant amount of backlog. We usually start the year again all over, building it back up. But I'll tell you, there's a couple of other really important indicators here. Pipeline, which is interested customers, which we haven't yet got a contract with, starting in the beginning of 2022, started at $80 million. We converted $76 million of that pipeline into hard contracts. That's a conversion rate which I've never seen before in my professional history. I've never seen. Usually you're 4 or 5 to 1 with pipeline to backlog conversion ratios. We were basically 1 to 1. And then we built that pipeline back up to well over $100 million again by the end of the year. So we converted 76 million of 80 million and built it back up to another 100 million by the end of the year. We're starting into 2023 now with this phenomenally high contracted backlog with customers like the US Army, the city of New York, the state of California, and many corporate customers as well. Our corporate businesses come roaring back post-vaccine, since people have started to go back to the office. Workplace charging is being deployed now. So it's just growth firing on 12 cylinders right now. And the good news is the operations guys are keeping up with it. We are ramping up like crazy. We've moved from being a demand constrained business, which we were for the first 10 years while we were doing this way ahead of the party. Now we're supply constrained. It's just a question, how quickly can we ramp up, and how quickly can we get all these products out the door? And the good news about that contracted backlog, by the way, is there is not a customer in our contract list today that wants to wait till next year or for 5 years or whatever to take that. Everybody wants that product right now, and we're racing to get it out to them. It's a fantastically exciting time to be Beam.
I would agree. And even just talking about some recent news that you guys filed from an order standpoint, forget the backlog. I mean, you received another order from a top global manufacturer for your solar-powered EV ARC, that electric vehicle charging system that I can see in the back of that photo there. And you also kind of received a multi-million-dollar battery module order for an industrial product line. Do you want to just discuss some of the recent news here for these last month orders?
Yeah, look, when you have one of the, and I can't get into specifics about who the company is, but automobile manufacturer, top 5 in the world, when you have them acquiring your product as they're electrifying their vehicle fleet, again, I can't go into too much detail on it, but it's clearly a strong indication, validation of the value of the product, the business model, and everything else. If you look at our history, and I encourage people to do this, you can go back and you can see that in general, when we get orders from people, we get repeat orders, and the repeat orders are usually bigger than the prior orders. So you see that over and over again with us. So that was a very important piece of news for us. I'd love to give specifics. I know people would love to hear who it is and what it's all about, but we have to respect their wishes. You know, this is a new industry. People are looking for competitive advantage. They don't want to be sharing information with others about the new things that they're doing. And we just have to fasten our seatbelts and hold on, basically, for that. On the battery side of the business, yes, look, when I acquired that company, I did it for several reasons. First of all, I wanted to defend my supply chain. Right now, there's a lot of demand for batteries. It's hard to keep up with that. I didn't want to be in a position where my products, which all have battery storage in them, I couldn't buy the batteries for them because there's not enough supply out there. So I bought the company and the technology from whom I'd been using batteries for many, many years. It's the best technology we can lay our hands on, and defended our supply chain. Beyond that, gross margin recapture. Batteries are the single largest cost contributor to our product. They're expensive. And so when I own the batteries and I'm making my own batteries, the gross margin that I recapture, frankly, just that gross margin recapture will pay for the battery company that I bought on its own, far less all the new business that you just brought up. And we're also getting this. Now we're putting batteries into all sorts of vehicles, drones, submersibles, robots, materials rehandling. And guess what? All of those companies have charging requirements. So there's a perfect cross-pollination here for us. And then probably most importantly, barrier to entry. There's no other charging infrastructure company out there that makes their own batteries. That just puts us in a position, again, very hard to compete with us. It's a great barrier to entry for the competition and a great engine for growth across the board.
Well, I definitely appreciate these insights today, and I'll pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think about this exciting, evolving industry down in that comment section below, and subscribe for the future news as it hits the wire. We'll update you here. But on that note, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.